King used to say that we must be clinically insane to think that this bunch of crazy young people, 25 or 30 of us, are going to change this nation and maybe the world. And he said, we probably won't make it to 40. But if we make it to 40, we got to make it to 100. Because it's really an impossible task. And it's not a job, it's a lifetime commitment. And so when he was killed at 39, I kind of felt that if my time didn't come soon, that I had to keep going to 100. And I'm at 87 now. But I'm still keeping almost the same kind of schedule. But what I've found since I've been taking this CoreCumin that you brought me is that I function with energy all day long. And the other worry I have, since in my little country church, they told me when I was 22 that we don't want no paper in the pulpit. We know you've been up north to school, but down here, whatever you say, we want it to come from your heart.
Yeah.
And so I got in the habit in little country churches of speaking without notes.
Yeah. You told me to speak without notes.
And I told you that if you're going to communicate with people, paper is a barrier.
Talk from your heart.
Talk from your heart.
Yeah.
But when you're getting in your 80s, talking from your heart puts an extra strain on your mind. And I think one of my fears, along with things like Alzheimer's, is that one day I'll get up and start to speaking and can't think of anything.
Yeah, can't remember what you. Yeah.
And so when you gave me this CoreCumin, it fit in with what was my lifestyle and my life plan. I also remember, since I did 4 funerals for friends of mine who had Alzheimer's.
This fights Alzheimer's.
In their 70s.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing I'm afraid of, because cancer...
And you're not afraid of anything.
Well, I am afraid of that, because cancer, you're victim of the pain, see?
Yeah.
Most things, but with Alzheimer's, you victimize your loved ones. And Alzheimer's, and in these 4 cases, it all led to dementia.
Yeah.
So I've been looking constantly for things that will keep me alert. And so I started putting turmeric on my salads.
Yeah.
Or I love to make tuna fish.
Yeah.
And
that was before this. That was just
that was
period.
before this,
Yeah.
But so I've been into to turmeric for a long time.
Yeah. In India, it's huge. Yeah.
But everything in turmeric seems to. I mean, they're not 1.5 billion people over there by accident. They're doing something right.
Right. Yeah, a couple of the villages, people are living well into their 90s and early triple digits, and having babies late into the century.
Those were the Hunza people.
Hunza people, yeah.
Up in North India, in Nepal.
Yeah.
And but part of the other thing that's in a way unique about them is that they run out of food for almost a month.
Mm.
And so there's an enforced fast.
Yes, the cleansing.
Where they can't grow any food, and they run out of their storage. And so the only thing they can drink is the water from the glaciers.
Yep.
And so drinking glacier water kind of purifies them, but you don't know what else is in that glacier water.
Yeah.
I mean, this is up in Mount, there's my memory going again.
No, I think that'd probably be hard for anybody to guess.
Everest.
Mount Everest, yeah. I couldn't remember what it was.
And so you almost have a duty to the people who invest in your education and your life and your training to be of service, and God, who blesses you with abilities, to be able to be of service at least to others.
Yeah, there's very few things that I can do for you. You've in many ways raised me in my adult life. Reverend Murray got me to 30 or so in LA after the Rodney King riots, and you have helped to raise me in my adult life, and I'm thankful for that beyond belief, and protected the civil rights movement of Operation Hope in the last couple of decades. And I've been wondering, what can I do to help you? And you're not interested in money, you're not interested in compliments, 130 honorary doctorate degrees, you don't need another one of those. I mean, what do you do for an icon? Health, wellness. And of course, my wife Shatra has gotten the first part of wellness for me. She got my blood pressure down. She got me to lose 13 pounds. She gave me put me on the right diet and cleansed me. And that was sort of first got my attention around not just financial wealth, but physical, mental, and spiritual wellness. And
what we're talking about is well-being.
Well-being, right? And
so that you are a positive force
in the world,
in the universe,
right? And
not a drag on it.
Exactly. And so the day that I was thrilled, I don't think I've ever told you this. Every time I call you, I say, "What can I do to help you?" And oftentimes, more times than not, you say, "Not much," or you say, "I just need to get some rest," which means, "John Bryant, leave me alone. Not another request." But this particular time, I saw you. I didn't have to ask you. I saw you after you had taken this CoreCumin product from Nourish Me. You had taken it for, I think, 6 weeks. And normally, you'll do anything for a day or two. But in order for something to stick with you, it really has to touch your heart. And I noticed you'd had this bottle in your pocket I'd given you for several weeks. And the thing that would amaze me this day, AY, you didn't use your scooter. Now, normally you're riding around on this little scooter, and you've incorporated in your life, you made it cool. But the scooter decreases your mobility. It means you're not exercising your joints and all that kind of stuff. And I'm concerned about you being mobile. And this one day I saw you pushed the scooter away and you walked to the venue you were going to, and you weren't hobbling. You weren't doing that thing that you normally do to balance your weight. You were just walking normally. I said, "What the heck's going on with you?" And you said, it was this product that giving you energy. And you went on and told me something else about.
Don't knock my scooter.
No, I love the scooter.
Well, no, because the scooter is, well, I don't know whether you realize it or not, but we had our first meeting this morning at 9 o'clock. And I had a 9 o'clock meeting.
At the State Department.
With the State Department. And then I had a 10 o'clock meeting.
The
with
USAID.
the Agency for International Development. And then we met you.
We had a lunch meeting, and then you met me.
A little lunch meeting.
Right.
And met you
at the FDIC.
Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Right.
And
you're still going.
I'm exhausted, though.
Yeah.
And so, but like, I could have walked down the hall from my room to here, but I would have been more tired. So the scooter saves my energy in hotels, conferences.
Yeah, I got it.
And
But it's different. You were dependent
walking
upon it
in
before.
the airport.
No, it's different. You were dependent upon it before. Now you're interdependent. In other words, you use it tactically now, whereas before it was almost, in my opinion, a bit of a crutch. And now you use it when you want to.
But now, when you get to be 87, knocking on 88, you will get a crutch too.
Yeah, amen.
Even if it's just sipping this.
That's it. So when, the home you live in is the same house that you lived in when Dr. King and you were in the civil rights movement in Atlanta. And that home has a driveway. Now, so by the way, you got to educate me. If you lived there when you and Dr. King had meetings on the civil rights movement, it was also the home you lived in when you were an ambassador. Also, the home you lived in when you were mayor. Countless dignitaries, people coming in and out of that. It's the same house, right?
Same house.
And that driveway has always been like this.
Yeah.
And so for most of your life, that was no problem.
Well, it was an opportunity because, one
Exercise?
of the things I would do for exercise is run up the hill 4 or 5 times.
Up the hill, meaning your driveway.
Up the driveway,
Yeah.
which is about, 40 yards.
About an 8% grade.
Yeah, and I'd walk down slowly.
Yeah.
The damage to my knees has been cumulative. And I have refused to get knee replacements.
Yeah.
Because of the combination of experiences that I had with friends of mine who had funerals.
Yeah.
Now, I've also got some friends
As a result of the
that
surgery.
had knee replacements and done very well.
Yeah, Quincy Jones.
But
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's
Quincy's not taking this, by the way.
I don't know whether it's the
Cartilage?
operation or the ether, the anesthesia. And so I just decided after 70, I wasn't gonna go on the ether anymore.
So you wanted a natural solution.
Yeah, and so that's why when you start breaking down, it's gradual, and if you give into it, you break all the way.
Yeah, your body, yeah.
And so I don't give into it. I push myself maybe too much.
Well, you're an inspiration for others as a result of that.
But the thing is that I find that there are very few people that have had the experiences I've had.
In the world.
Yeah. And, the 130 honorary degrees is people, don't pay you for commencements. And I like to speak to kids, all the young people. But almost as significant, more significant for me, is the fact that my work has led me to, at last count, 152 different countries.
You've been to 152 countries.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And everywhere I go, I try to figure out what is the secret to their life and their life expectancy. Why is it that you go some places and the average lifespan is 45 to 55?
Right.
See? And then you can go roughly in the same general area, and different lifestyles have people 80 and 90.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with diet and I guess culture of wellness. So if you come back from all these trips, you got to.
But I try to learn something
Yeah.
almost everywhere I go.
No, you're constantly learning.
Yeah.
What did you learn from going down your driveway to the car, getting in the car, going on your most recent series of trips in the last few months? What is your body telling you about going down that steep driveway versus the way it was a year ago?
Well, that
Is it easier or is it harder?
it's easier, but I take smaller steps, and I do a slalom back and forth. I don't go straight down. I go across the hill.
Yeah, but
But now I come straight up.
and is it easier after you've been taking this, or is there been any discernible difference between taking this product than before? The driveway.
I don't. It is, but I think it's more. It's more total energy and feeling rather than specific. I mean,
The effect, you mean? It's more total energy.
it's that I run up the hill now. See, I don't stroke. I mean, I don't. I deliberately run up the hill, and I'm not out of breath.
But you've got more energy now to do it. Yeah.
And I think the other thing that I worry about is balance.
Yep.
And one of the reasons I won't use a cane is the cane becomes a crutch.
Yeah.
And you depend on the cane to balance you.
Yeah.
Whereas when I don't have a cane, I have to depend on my mind or my inner ear to keep me balanced.
Right.
And I noticed that.
That's interesting. Your inner ear. Yeah.
I noticed that well, the only time I have trouble with balance
This don't taste bad.
is if I wake up in the middle of the night. That I have to sit on the edge of the bed and center myself first before I get up and walk anywhere.
So given all of this thoughtfulness you have put into your well-being, in other words, what is part of this is in the arsenal?
It's been an exhaustive day, and I came up here thinking it was 55 degrees, and it's been more like 33 to 35 degrees. And so I feel like I'm on the verge of catching a cold. And so I was glad that Sir James brought me or you brought me a bag.
A bag of this.
A bag of the little plastic bottles that I've learned to keep in my pocket.
Yeah, it's the only thing you've actually asked me for in 10 years. Bring me more.
And I don't know
CoreCumin.
what it does, but and I understand you're supposed to put it in water like this.
Right. But you do it any way you want
But
I do it in my
I
time.
think it gets to your
Your
bloodstream quicker if you just let it go under your tongue.
Yeah, that's what I do. Everybody's different. I think you're supposed to put it in water, and so it allows it to I guess.
Well, it depends on what you think of the taste. I happen to like the taste.
I actually like the taste too. I take it straight, but I'm sure that the doctors, everybody, and the scientists would say put it in water, and that's the appropriate way. There's actually there's a whole ratio they have about water to drops and all that kind of stuff. I have found, because it's all natural, I have found that just putting it under my tongue, for me, has been beautiful. And I feel it instantly. It's like David Perez, who's the CEO of the company, calls it carpet bombing your wellness in your body. I can feel it literally within 5 minutes of taking it. I can feel it like pulsating through my body. It gives me like a little positive energy jolt without the edge of coffee or coffee I've used, I'll admit, my whole life to augment my energy level.
when you get old, caffeine makes you want to run to the bathroom.
Mm.
So you don't want to go. You don't want to pump yourself up with caffeine and then have to run to the bathroom in the middle of a meeting.
Right.
I have not felt that problem with this.
Have you noticed, before I give a speech, before I go into an important meeting, I take a couple drops of this under my tongue. It gives me additional clarity. Have you noticed that?
Well, I really have. I guess I use it afterwards.
After the meeting?
I mean, I feel drained after making a speech. In fact, I heard somewhere that for say classroom lecturers who lecture for an hour, 50 minutes, they burn as much, they use as much energy as somebody, doing a regular heavy labor job, laying bricks.
For the whole day?
Or mopping floors, or a physical energy.
For an 8-hour shift of doing that is the same as giving a speech, or vice versa.
Well, yeah.
I would agree with that. I'm completely wiped out typically after a speech. So I take it before, you take it after,
Yeah.
but for the same, I guess, net effect. Let me ask you, so people have been telling me the last 2 months, John, you've lost so much weight, but I haven't lost any weight. What they're seeing, I believe, is the inflammation that's falling out of my body. And Shatra says, my wife says that 75% of all, good health is 80% what you eat and 20% working out, but she says 75% of all disease lives on inflammation. So inflammation has been falling out of my body, and I'm literally feeling more vibrant. And I think this affects also, the black community. We have these additional issues that came from slavery and soul food. We turned that food into soul food.
Grease and fat.
Grease and salt. And salt, which was used to preserve the food back in the fields and outside in the 1700s. We turned negatives into positives. But we unfortunately have consumed those diets today as a regular diet all too often, and it's caused high blood pressure, it's caused indirectly diabetes and a range of other things, hypertension. And I'm now on this kick with this product to one of the things I want to do is talk to the black community in particular about trying to get our blood pressure down and getting our body more in balance, get that inflammation out of our body. What do you think about that?
No, I guess I took it on the basis of my experience with CoreCumin and the years I have been reading about it.
Yeah.
And I just see it as a good way to get, and I guess I haven't analyzed the effect yet, except that if I haven't taken it in a long time and I start, lagging, I find that it's a quick shot.
It's really funny you said that. I can tell if a day goes by, if I've been running really hard, and a day goes by that somehow I missed it, I didn't take it, I can feel it. In about 20 hours after not taking it, I feel different, and I don't mean positive. And there are a couple things that I gotta have in my pocket every day. My phone, my mobile phone, my wallet, and this little bottle.
Yeah.
And I don't go anything without it. I call it my little Superman bottle. And I try to affect all my friends with it. Huh?
I find that I keep it by my bedside.
Yeah.
And when I empty my pockets, I put it there. And when I load up my pockets in the morning, I shake it to see how it's doing, and if I got enough. And if it's running out, I'll take it and go get another one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only thing. I'm I'm so appreciative to David Perez and the company for
But you know what, the other
for
thing
doing this, because it's the only gift I've given you that I feel you truly value.
the other thing that I think you said, or I saw on some of the literature, that Deepak Chopra was involved with this company. And
Yeah,
I've
he's a
read a
shareholder.
lot of his work, and of course his Indian heritage would plug him into CoreCumin and turmeric easily.
Yeah,
But
he's a friend of yours too, and both of us.
yeah, and the well, part of the fascination that I have with India comes from the fact that I guess I was 19 when somebody gave me my first book about Gandhi. And it fascinated me because that was just a year. It was the year of India's independence, or the year after. And so, how did this little frail man generate the spiritual energy to overcome the British Empire? And I've been reading American history also, and I almost wish that I can see that as George Washington and John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were plotting the independence of these United States, that the painful thing for them was they loved England, and they didn't want to kill Englishmen or go to war with England, and they couldn't find a way to be independent without a very brutal, bloody war. And I just wonder, well, to coin a term, biospiritual, is there something about the Indian diet that allows them to be more spiritual
That's interesting.
and more meditative?
Yeah, more centered.
It's a culture that gave us yoga
Yeah,
and Buddhism
yeah,
and meditation. And I think it's Chopra who says we think we're physical beings that have an occasional spiritual experience, but really
we're spiritual beings having an occasional human experience.
And this is an occasional human
experience, yeah.
Physical experience.
Yeah,
And so I associate all of this mystery of life
yeah.
with India, and is it the turmeric in the Indian diet? I mean, it's the largest democracy in the world, and they have more tribal differences than almost any other country of comparable size.
Yeah, it's like 50 countries inside the country,
and
yeah.
linguistic differences.
Yeah.
And yet they've been able to keep a democracy together,
Yeah,
so far more stable than even these United States.
yeah,
And I'm worried now about the escalation of just anger and hostility and bitterness in people's lives.
yeah.
And
That's why you were saying earlier it's about well-being.
yeah, it's stress.
Yeah.
See, and it's stress that we tend to want to blame on somebody else. And I think I'm almost stress-free these days. And it's been a rough period in my life. I mean,
Yeah.
there've been lots of things going on this year that are new.
Yeah.
But thank you for introducing me to this little bottle. I don't know about this black one. This is glass.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You said we're moving away from plastic to glass. The glass, plastic is not biodegradable, and that's just much friendlier to the universe that you have in your hand now. So I commend David and his board for doing that. It actually looks cooler too, in my opinion, and doesn't. I think this is cooler put in my pocket.
I almost got addicted to this little.
Well, if you want that bottle, I'm sure David will give you that bottle. He'll give you as many of those little bottles as you want. If you just like the old school, I'll do the cool one. You do that. You do the old school one.
What I can do with the bottles to.
And by the way, you can drop this and won't break. When you think about what you can do with what now?
What you can do with these bottles after they're empty? You know, I don't know. How can they be recycled into something other uses?
Well, there's that Andrew Young mind vibrantly at work. You said something a minute ago that I thought was very powerful about edge and anger and the inner. You know, when I drink coffee, and I love coffee, but when I drink coffee now mostly decaf because I like the taste. But for years and years and years, I lived on 7 cups of coffee a day, just trying to keep going. But it made me edgy, and it made me irritable, and I'm sure it translated into not being such a nice person every now and then. Now, I'm cool all the time, and I hadn't really attributed it to this, but it has. I mean, I got to give it a little bit of credit because I'm not drinking the coffee. I'm not dependent on coffee for energy and vitality anymore. My diet is much more natural, to put it another way. This concept of well-being, as I think about your friends who are having some medical issues, and you're going to give this over the holidays, as I understand it, to several of them as a way to get them to right-size their life. I don't know anybody now, no matter rich or poor, billionaire or millionaire or hundredaire, who doesn't have wellness and well-being concerns.
Yeah, well, you have to. And the earlier you started in life, the better.
Yeah.
My 16-year-old grandson was here.
Yeah.
And he's 6'1" and playing basketball. And the two things I told him that he had to, not wanting to burden him. One, John Wooden, with the 11 national championships in a row.
Yep.
At UCLA.
Yep.
Started every season teaching these super athletes how to put on their socks. Because the way you put on your socks affects turf toe and blisters on your feet. And you put your body under extra strain when you practice in basketball, 4 or 5 hours a day and then playing games. And I mean, that's an extra strain. So what you do to your feet and your knees is particularly important.
Yeah.
And you've got to be mindful of those things. The other thing I said was that don't get dehydrated because your body's 70% water.
Yeah.
That's why it's probably good to drink it in water. It tastes good in water too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is the prescribed way that they recommend you do it. We're going to go to Lake Nona institute in a week or so in Florida, where I met David Perez, who's also associated with this, and learn a bit more of the science behind this. But as I understand it, part of the beauty here, AY, is they found a way, what I call it nanotechnology, to take this natural product and inject it immediately into your bloodstream. That's why we're feeling it. So I think the difference between you spreading, I think it was turmeric on your salad or whatever, versus this, is they found a way through their formula to get it immediately into your bloodstream. That's why we're feeling that pop instantly of energy.
CoreCumin is the intense version of turmeric. I mean, they're related, and I don't worry about the chemistry. I'll settle for the feeling.
Enough said.
It's not a high.
Right.
Or no. Biblically, the verse that comes to mind, it brings you a peace that passes understanding.
A peace that passes understanding. Okay.
The King James Version says passeth understanding. That can mean a whole lot of things.
And for me, that's translated into clear eyesight, more peace of mind, better thoughtfulness, sustained energy level, more or less inflammation, less joint pain, better memory, and it doesn't hurt that it appears to fight cancer and, most importantly, Alzheimer's, which is something as America gets older, as the world gets older, everybody should be concerned with, and it's natural.